This is just going to be a simple video that might change your life, and it is basically where I give you the timeline of self-improvement. Now, I've been on self-improvement for almost a year now, like literally in 2 to 3 weeks. Um, I'll be on self-improvement for a year. And to say the least, this have been quite a journey. Like this is literally in this year, I've probably learned and made more progress than I have in my entire life. This like literally have this those have been the most fun, exciting, at the same time hard and difficult times of my life. And there are some valuable lessons from it. Because I expect you are not really far into your self-improvement journey. You have been only for a couple of months. And I'm not a fucking genius right here. Of course, I have been on self-improvement only for almost a year. There's a long way to go till the day I die, and so this is not, you should not take my advice as kind of like this is what you shall do till the rest of your life, but it is, from my kind of experience, there are lessons which I have learned about self-improvement which are so valuable for you to hear. In this video I'm going to talk about the timeline of self-improvement and what is most important right here. What do you do when you step into the dark times of self-improvement? What do you do when you find yourself when you find yourself in the abyss of bad habits again? Because this is quite a terrible time, terrible place to find yourself in when you're back again in the bad habits and you already know about the damaging effect of them. And this has happened to me a couple of times on self improvement, and to say the least, those were horrendous times. Horrendous. Those were. This was horror. But I've learned a lot from them. And so I'm going to start with actually the starting point of my self improvement. It was the 2nd of January 2023. I remember we I got so fed up with my life. The only habits that I was doing before self improvement was playing video games, scrolling on social media, sleeping like a 90 year old. 90, literally 4 hours of terrible sleep. I would wake up in the middle of the night and grab my laptop to watch some Call of Duty videos. This was, um, although I'm grateful for my past and I've learned a lot from it, those were not good times. Those were not. I'm grateful that I have learned the lessons from them, but those were, honestly, those were terrifying times at some point. And my first months on self improvement before the April 15th, I literally remember the date, April 15th. So somewhere around from January the 2nd to April 15th, this was kind of like my starting point of self improvement, and I was so productive. And like literally every single time I remember those times, I smile. Like I literally, this makes me just feel this almost like pride in myself, because the guy there just a couple of months ago in January and from January to April, he was clueless. He was clueless. Like I remember literally the things that I did back then, and how fragile my position on self improvement was. And I look back, and it's almost like it's miraculous that I've stayed on self improvement, that I've stayed consistent because, um, oh my god, there's like a memory right here. It was a couple of days into self improvement, so I think it was on the January 16th. Um, I was running, so I was jogging in the morning. It was 6 a.m. and as you might understand, of course, 6 a.m. in January. It is pitch black outside, pitch black total, like absolutely you can see nothing. And I was running with kind of like with massive shoes back then, and the shoelaces were untied, and I just, oh my god, stumbled upon like some gravel and stones, and I just fell onto the ground. And I remember there was like literally blood on my knees and on my hands. Like this was truly an experience. Of course, back then this was, let's to say the least, it wasn't so fun. But right now, I kind of, when I recall the story, it's almost like I smile because even after that, even after like I have literally fell down and, first days on self improvement and I'm already in blood, I still continued. I still got consistent, and I kept on running and running. Like not this day, of course, but a couple of days later, and I'm running again. So miraculous, honestly. So what was it about April 15th? So for the past 2 weeks, if we kind of set this point on April 15th, and for the past 2 weeks, I have been on a total monk mode. 2 weeks, of course, not so much, but this is what I have done. So I was literally working. I had a different YouTube channel back then, and I did not watch any YouTube, like only the long form content. Of course, like here and there, I would watch some dopamine, self improvement, reject weakness, embrace masculinity, those kind of videos, you know them. But still, I didn't watch any news or anything like that. Like, I was pretty damn. It was a pretty damn good time. And on the April 15th, when I got off my monk mode, I remember it all went kind of like a little bit down here and there because I started playing a little bit of video games again, and here and there, of course. It was when a sickness, a dreadful one, hit me in the yeah, May this year. This is when it really got bad. So what happened in May? I basically got sick and I've lost all consistency. I've lost all the motion, all the momentum, the snowball effect stopped, and I basically, I wouldn't say I got off, but the only habit that I was kind of like the self improvement habit that I was still consistent with was the gym, was kind of like back then I exercised at my home. So yeah, this was the only habit. Meditation kind of slacked a little bit. Journaling didn't do at all. Sleeping well, no. It was honestly like it was a total disaster, and it got even worse. So from June to July, I also, there was kind of like a group of guys in my school which I got with, and we would usually go to the river in my city. and we would just swim a little bit here and there. But we were also drinking non-alcohol beer. It's like honestly, it's fucking hard to admit right now, but this was what I have done. I'm not going to cope. I did drink, I did, so this was so degeneracy. If you ask, I don't know. I do not do this shit right now, so of course I got off of it pretty quickly, just in a couple of weeks. So I'm happy for that. And also, there was a point where I was getting back to video games. Video games was kind of like the hardest, most difficult uh, bad habit to get off from. This was in June when me and my school class went on kind of like a trip to a camp in Latvia. And I remember like the whole trip itself, of course, it was like I went total nuts there. Like, oh my god. This was obviously like fun times, but I remember this just makes me so fucking sad right now. When I came back from Latvia, the first thing that I did, yeah, I exercise. Yeah, of course, I didn't exercise in Latvia, but I came back. I did my usual 40 minutes gym training, and I sat down to play fucking Minecraft. Oh my god. This just like this is this is fucking sad, bro. This is just honestly like imagine you were so consistent from January to April, and those were genuinely like good times. I felt so productive in those months. And you're conscious of what you're doing, you're conscious of your degeneracy, you're conscious of you returning to bad habits, but you just keep returning them because you have no free will, you have no self-control, you have no power, you have no. And the problem with self-improvement right here is that when you when you are doing the bad habits, when you're just a total simpleton, you're okay with that. This is just your normal routine. So you find no um so you don't see the bad side of playing video games. You don't know why they're bad. You're just convinced to believe that they improve your fucking imagination and reaction time, all of this crap. But when you are on self improvement, you're conscious of that. You know, when you open up a video game, there is a voice inside you which tells, "What the fuck are you doing? You're just wasting time. You could learn, you could go to the gym, you could meditate, but instead you're just there playing like a spurg." Like, oh, Jesus. And then it got even worse. So from July to August, me and my family went on a trip to Spain. And Spain itself was, of course, I liked the trip. It was absolutely amazing. It was after I came back what happened. So, of course, I was with my family for 2 weeks, and I never had the time to be kind of like alone. I'm back in my city alone for 2 days, and then my grandma, which lives in she's living currently in a different country, and so she came to my city. And although again it was terrific, it was terrific time. I had no kind of space and time for myself, for just for being there alone and to be able to think, what was I doing, where is my life going, and I cannot totally express like what has happened when during the visit of my grandma, but I basically fell into total degeneracy. It was it was apocalyptic. It was it was catastrophic. Um, Not only did I play video games a lot, I ate a lot of sugar, and there's just a whole list of bad habits that I did back then. Again, only the gym was something consistent, but I was still conscious of self improvement, and so at this time, I kind of made the first steps to get away, get back from this abyss. I started reading a lot again. At that time, like from April to July, I was reading 12 Rules for Life by Jordan Peterson. And of course, it's the kind of like the title of this book is also an antidote to chaos. No, absolutely amazing book, helped me a lot, but it helps me right now as I'm rereading it right now. Back then, it was not an antidote to chaos. I did not understand shit. I understood something from that book. I understood, of course. I didn't take action. I didn't take action, absolutely. So what had happened? On the August of 15th, so literally we have this kind of like coincidence right here from April 15th to the August of 15th. Absolutely trash. Absolutely worst times. Although I look back with a sense of gratitude for the lessons learned. On the August of 15th, my grandma returned to the country where she lives right now. And I basically went full on monk mode. I went full send. I was going, I was, oh man, great times. I was spending around 9 to 10, even up to 12 hours in nature back then. I was recording, no. I wasn't recording any videos back then. I can tell you why I um, wasn't recording any videos, because I was just kind of in this total mental health improvement mode. And so the videos that I'm recording, this wasn't fun for me. And so, of course, I didn't do that back then, although right now it's fun. There was just a whole list. I have a video on my channel which is titled like something, why you are struggling on self-improvement and how to fix that. It's a relatively new video. It's just a picture of me from 2022 where I'm just in the background there's kind of like a mural, and I'm just there with poor Jolene standing there, proper poker face, like fucking this shit. You can watch that if you want. I explain how I fixed my life. This whole rant, this 19 minutes rant that I went on right now, what is the lesson? There are ups and downs of self-improvement. Self-improvement is indeed an antidote to a terrible life. It is an antidote. It is indeed like that. And getting into the gym, starting to meditate, um, improving your health, physical and mental, and etc. it always will be good, but there will be some dark times. There will be. And those are kind of like the times which they are known as self-improvement depression, I think. And this is basically my period from April 15th to August 15th, when you just fall back into the bad habits. And those are some truly awful times. And again, I have a video on my channel where I explain how did I fix that. After you have passed through this self-improvement depression, there will be ups and downs. There will be currently I'm in the kind of the good, the what are you called? Yeah, basically the good times of self-improvement. I'm very much productive currently. I'm doing almost no bad habits. I am on total dopamine detox. I'm reading I'm reading like a book in a week right now. I'm also getting kind of closer and closer and deeper into kind of like philosophical stuff also. So the times are good right now. I'm at peace, but I also know that in a couple of weeks or months, I'll slack off just naturally and I'll go through the dark times again. I will go through this abyss, and although it is suffering, it is it will be the darkest, perhaps again, the darkest times of your life when you will go through this self-improvement depression again, because you're conscious of the cons of bad habits. And so now every single time you do them, you get this punch of guilt, of shame, of regret. And of course, this will deteriorate your mental health, which is by far the most important aspect of your life. And you probably already know that. So there are good and bad times on self improvement. And I would say from now, what I see in myself is that I no longer go through this period of self improvement depression. Rather, it is just kind of like most of the times are good, but there will be kind of I wouldn't say the bad times, because every single time that I kind of slacked off on self improvement, I went on a trip. And of course, this is just memories. And I know for a fact that even though I slacked off at the time, when I will be 80, I will remember this trip that I went on to a different country with a smile on my face, with joy, with happiness, with excitement, with pride. Self improvement is indeed the best journey that you will get on in your life. And so I hope you can ingrain this positive mindset, this optimistic mindset, where you do not fall into the abyss of nihilism when you are in self improvement depression, but you are optimistic about that. And again, quick little plunge right here. I have a video on my channel which explains how did I fix that, how did I get onto good habits again. And yeah, so that's basically it. This is the longest video I have recorded by far right now, 24 minutes. I hope this was helpful. This was a massive rant. So, see you in the next one.